This is a beautiful iPhone XS, right? Wrong. This was an iPhone X just a few hours ago before I stripped it and put it into this shell. It looks just like the new iPhone XS. It is absolutely gorgeous. You will never be able to tell the difference between this and a genuine iPhone XS. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to update the look of your iPhone X, whether it's broken or you're just tired of the existing color, and swap it into this beautiful new XS housing kit. This is one of the best housing swaps I could possibly recommend. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to install it. And this is especially useful if you've broken the back on your iPhone X. This is like a $400, $500, $600 replacement in some cases. Well, now maybe a little bit cheaper that the XS is out, but in any case, if you just wanted an update to the look, make it look beautiful like the XS, or it's broken, this is how to do it. So let's take a look at that casing. Actually, I've not seen it in person, but it looks really, really good in the pictures, like near OEM quality. I literally just started binge watching season 4 of Narcos, and this reminds me of some products from that show. All right, and let's see how close they got the finish to Apple's OEM. All right, oh wow. Look at that. So that reflective finish on the inside, as you can see, it's a shimmer special coating that Apple applies. For the first time ever, I'm seeing it in an aftermarket housing. How cool is that? This looks OEM. What makes this so great is it looks like an iPhone XS. You would not know otherwise. How do you even know it's a XS? If you're not experienced in that, you won't know. On the bottom, the ports are the same. The speaker holes are the same, so you don't have that mismatched speaker design. So I guess that's kind of a benefit even. Wow, this feels so solid. Of course, you still get your wireless charging, the stainless steel band. I'm kind of impressed how amazing this feels. Very, very good quality here. So we also do have the little buttons and stuff that comes with it right here in that same finish. And yeah, let's go ahead and turn this 1-year-old phone into the newest, latest and greatest nobody will ever know. And this is the one of choice. So this iPhone here, I kind of did some repairs on. It's got a broken frame. It's the perfect one to replace here. And I'm just going to transfer everything from inside to this one here. And the process itself does take quite some time. I'm going to be following the iFixit guide. I'll be glossing over some of the more important points here, but I just want to say this feels great. Such a premium finish here. Very, very nice housing. But okay, let's get to work. I'm going to be doing this step by step. Obviously, we're not doing the XS Max size, just the XS, because the 10 didn't come in this size last year. But okay, let's get to work. So I want to start by turning your iPhone off, of course, and then I'm going to pry the screen off and go from there. And what you'll need, obviously a toolkit of some sort. Doesn't need to be this one in particular, but I use the iFixit, and I use the iFixit guides with this to help me break it down. I'll leave a link down below if you want to follow that. And battery stickers, these are the wrong ones, but I'll make them work. And I would recommend one of these, a screw mat. So I didn't have one, I just printed it out and put it on magnet board right here. That way you can organize the screws. It seems like there's just less screws overall versus earlier models. So that's why I say it seems a little bit easier to tear this one down. This will be my first time ever tearing down an iPhone X series to the core, completely replacing everything. So I'm just as a beginner at the iPhone X as you may be watching this. We'll see how it goes. I want to start by removing the screws from the bottom here, pentalobe, placing them on the mat. Next up, using the suction tool, you want to pry the screen up. Mine's already been removed, so I can easily get in there. It won't be this easy for you. And it does open up to the side, so do remember that. Don't cut any of these connections on accident. And then want to remove this plate here, get the screen out of the way. As always, you want to remember the screw placement. That's why the mats are so important here, because the screws are all different sizes, and putting one in the other slot could damage things, actually even keep your phone from turning on in some cases. So be very careful about that. Gently pry up all the connections, holding the display in place. And off to the side that one goes. Okay, so we're gonna start by removing the cameras here. Go ahead and unplug all of these connections and remove the Phillips screws surrounding the cameras. Next up, I wanna remove the motherboard. So let's go ahead and release all of these connections on top of it. Be very gentle as to not crease or cut any of the flex cables. Very, very efficient logic board for sure compared to earlier iPhones. and then remove any further screws holding the motherboard in place. And just like that, it is ready to remove. Of course, can't forget the SIM card tray holding everything in place here. And with the Face ID camera out of the way, go ahead and pry this bad boy out, and wow, just appreciate that in your hand for a moment. There is so much engineering that has went into this. Absolutely insane. We're gonna focus on this area down here. Go ahead and remove all of these screws holding the Taptic engine in and the speaker. Okay, go ahead and remove the shielding, holding this in place. Next up, unplug the Taptic engine from this connector here. So next up, we wanna go ahead and remove the battery. And this one may or may not be a pain in the arse. So of course, with these tabs, I wanna pull on them to release the adhesive holding this all in place. All right, got one. Okay, after a heavy struggle, got the bottom one out, and now we're gonna do the top one. Be careful with the borders of the iPhone. I just cut myself really bad on that. They're sharp. Whoa. You wanna go ahead and remove 4 screws on the border here, holding the antenna wires and charging port wires in place. On the bottom here, a couple more screws, get those out of the way. All right, and I would recommend a heat gun to go ahead and loosen up all of the flex cables here. You don't want to tear any of them. And of course, we want to remove these 3 remaining screws here. And on the inside of the SIM card tray, there's a little pin you have to push out that you're going to replace into the new iPhone. So it doesn't appear that it comes with this little piece. So just gonna push that into the little hole right here. All right, I've transferred over the cables here. Now start reinstalling everything piece by piece. Next, we're gonna go up here, put the wireless charging pad, and don't forget about all these side bolsters over here. You wanna go ahead and reinstall. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and remove the FaceTime cameras. Now we're gonna remove the Wi-Fi antenna up here, remove all the screws, peel that back, and replace it onto the new iPhone. All right, out that goes, and in it goes to the gold iPhone. There's a lot more smaller, little tiny parts, little antennas than I anticipated going into this. So it's definitely not as easy as I might have made it sound. Next up, we're gonna remove the power cable assembly, all of these brackets on the side, peel that back and replace it immediately into the new one. So like the others, be very, very gentle with these ribbon cables. They are prone to tearing. I would recommend heating this area up and then pull this metal bracket up like this and go ahead and pull it out. Now the power button can be removed, and do the reverse instructions on the opposite shell with the gold button. Okay, and that last remaining thing is the wireless charging pad and the buttons here on the left. So go ahead and remove all of this structure here, replace it into the new one, and I'll get to the charging pad in a second. All right, once you've got those removed, you want to very, very gently go around the edges here and pry the wireless charging pad upwards. Remove the adhesive. Okay, just like that, we've eradicated the last piece, and let's go ahead and place it into this bad boy. Loosen this little bracket and then just pull it straight up. Reinstall the gold buttons on the new one. Okay, so now that everything has been swapped over, we can start reinstallation of all of the existing parts, starting with the battery, and then the Taptic engine, the loudspeaker, and the logic board, and so on. Basically reverse all of the steps that we just did. All right, that's in there. So logic board goes back. Make sure you're not covering any wires accidentally. Okay, just like that, my friends, we have sucked the soul from one iPhone and inserted it into a gold 10S shell. Let's connect the display, and fingers crossed that everything went right. I did damage one part, and that was a cable up here near the Face ID module. It was for an antenna. And yeah, so that's the only thing. Otherwise, everything went smoothly. I'm hoping everything will work right now after the turn on. So I'm gonna go ahead and power it on, or at least try to. And oof, yes, we have life. Hopefully everything works. Otherwise, you can go ahead and seal it up. Final inspection before closing. Make sure everything's in order. Nothing looks out of place. And everything is working. Go ahead and close it up. Now the crappy thing is with this gold body, they didn't give you gold screws, so you have to reuse your black ones, but you really can't tell now, can you? And let's place our new gold SIM card tray inside, hoping that service is gonna work. But wow, I'm very, very satisfied with the fit and finish of this. It feels OEM, it feels just like an iPhone XS model. That's very unusual with these kind of shells. All the bolt placement was in the right place. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this. If you break the shell of your iPhone X, this is honestly one of the best things you can possibly do in terms of a replacement. You get this beautiful gold shell, basically an updated iPhone XS on the old 10 models. And wrapping this up, just have some closing statements here. If you want your iPhone X to have a fresh new look, or if you crack the back glass of your iPhone X, you can update it to the XS look. It is absolutely beautiful. It's cost efficient. You don't have to replace the entire iPhone, and keep your old one looking and feeling fresh. The finish is top notch, especially what gets me is the fact that it has that reflective coating look, just like Apple's iPhone XS model. They have this shimmer, and now it's been replicated on this aftermarket shell. It looks really, really great. So I would recommend this so much. As for the installation process, I underestimated how difficult it would be. It honestly took me several hours and pain. I'm bleeding. I did slightly damage the interior because I was trying to rush, but if you take your time, totally doable. You know, this was the first time inside an iPhone X for me, actually stripping it, so it wasn't all too bad, all things considered. If you guys want to buy this, I'll leave a link down below in the description where you can get it. Totally would recommend. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.